Right now, as we observe the crypto market, XRP is actually getting positive news, positive narrative coming. This should reflect in the price action. And right now, we are observing on a short-term basis, XRP is giving it a try to break through this. Now, if we do get a short-term close, which would be on a 4-hour or 2-hour chart, now we are looking for a double bottom reversal and a test somewhere close to 0.5, 0.53. Now, if we actually look at the macro for the Bitcoin dominance, we are looking for a slight correction first, and if that breaks, now you are looking for the trend line support here. That would be close to 46. So you may see some action in the altcoin in that duration. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10 person of this world. Right now, assets like Ether is showing us the fact that it actually broke to the downside, considering the moving average on a daily. That's a 21-day moving average. Now you are retesting that. So you just broke that here. You're coming back to retest, and it seems right now we are getting rejected, which means you may most likely look for 1,700. So we may actually continue to drop, and that would still be healthy considering where we are right now and what we have done in the recent past. So while we understand the fact that Ether can actually drop some, we also look at Bitcoin because it is the leading indicator right now for most of these assets. And the only difference we are observing is with XRP, as we just discussed. It is showing you some positive momentum on the short-term leg. Now, yesterday, while we were discussing about this scenario, we actually talked about a medium-term corrective trend, a short-term corrective trend coming to an end, which kind of gave us the idea like, okay, we may actually slowly go back up, right? And that's one of the reasons why I actually quoted it like it is important for XRP holders. And yes, hundreds of people are actually taking benefit of that. And right now, if you look at that, we are moving up. Now, we also broke that down into short-term leg and comparing the XRP BTC pair. And right now, all of those are valid. We got the divergence. It was a double bottom in the RSI. And the price actually broke to the upside. That was a falling wedge. So right now for XRP, if you are going into the chart, you can actually see that the market actually relates. Bitcoin is slowing down. Bitcoin dominance is slowing down. And it actually matters to understand that the entire market cap is still just below $1.3 trillion. We're seeing Bitcoin slowing down, but we are not seeing a lot of other assets moving up. We have few assets standing up against the drop in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin dropped 0.48% and Ether dropped double that. So it's kind of an area where you see XRP is trying to push higher and the volume is slowly coming up. It was like 1.1 billion, then turned to 1.2, right now 1.3. Let's see how that even actually moves on. But as you look at the price action, it is actually interesting to understand that yes, we are right now trying to give a short-term breakout. And as we confirm that breakout, now you have the possibility of yes, we are coming back to test this range of 0.5, 0.53. And we want to actually see that level break. If not, then what we are looking at in terms of XRP price action would be, yeah, you go up, test that. If you don't manage to break that, you want to actually observe the market making a double bottom and then breaking higher. Now, why am I saying that? Because right now on the short-term structure, XRP is showing you the fact that we are making a double bottom, right? We just confirmed that double bottom or almost at that point where the market is confirming the double bottom reversal. So usually we see that the short-term structures come into play on the macro as well. So if that's the case, now we are looking for that playing out on a daily chart, which will be bullish. Now, that means you guys would still have some time to see the market consolidating and XRP gaining strength against the market, which is a positive scenario. but it's not like we are directly pumping crazy. But the key event, I would say, is look at the macro structure here for XRP. It's turning bullish. Now, if you understood the fact that we came back to the weekly moving average, we are bouncing off from that moving average. Even if we come back to retest that level and bounce off, that still is going to be super bullish, because as soon as you go higher for the next leg, now you are invalidating a lot of big resistance levels, which has been there from some time, right? It's been a resistance, it's been a support, so it actually gets extended all the way in history. So right now we would actually stay there and say like, okay, that's a key level to look for. And right now the RSI suggests the fact that we broke higher, it's retesting, and if it's bouncing, which will most likely occur because we are observing a short-term break, right? And once that materializes in the price action, we will see price of this asset moving higher. Now, yes, the next target is going to be the previous level of resistance, which turned into support here. So that would be somewhere like 0.87. So basically, it was a resistance, then it turned into a support. Right now, that support turned into a resistance. So close to 0.7 to 0.8, we are going to get some resistance. But considering where we are right now, that still is like a 100% move to the upside. So the market still has some room to start moving. And that would just be the initial leg of the next run. Because on the short-term scenario, we do understand the fact that yes, what we are talking about in XRP is a macro structure, where this one is just a microstructure. So we will correct back down for sure. I won't argue with that fact. But this three-way structure for me is the short-term leg. The completion of the actual wave 1, you may even come back to 0.43, 0.5. Then you go up. That's going to be the wave 2 in this run. So inside the macro wave 2, you'll actually see explosive price action for sure, in which now you'll still have a correction, still have the next leg up. For sure, all of this are going to come out. Now, I'm not pointing out towards a price point exactly, because that will most likely depend on the short-term scenario and the volume coming into the market. Because when you go look at the volume, if you see like the 1.3 trillion is now moving all the way up to 6 billion, 9 billion. Now, things are different because a lot more money than we had while we analyzed this asset is now entering the market. At that point, you're literally looking at the macro, then the micro, trying to make a decision. But the key part for all of us would be look for divergence. Now, I know a lot of people would disagree, saying trend lines are not valid, but trend lines kind of give you the easy idea that the resistance here was going up, whereas at the same time, the resistance here on the RSI was slowing down. So we did get a divergence in which the RSI suggested price action is about to slow down. So that still is valid. And then we take the same concept here. We just got another leg of divergence where the price made lower low, whereas the RSI made a higher low. So the trend line here gives us easy perspective. This happened in the market. Right now, what we are observing is just opposite of that. So what should we anticipate? Just opposite of that. There is nothing big here. We are not doing rocket science here. It's relatively easier while we understand the language of technical analysis. Now, yes, it will come handy if we are trying to use a lot of different moving averages to give us a narrative of where we are inside this market cycle. Say, for example, you go into a macro chart for XRP and look at this. The moving average kind of gives us the idea. On a macro, the moving average itself is trying to make a double bottom. So that double bottom will be confirmed as soon as the moving average bounces higher. Right now, remember, price is above the moving average, which means even if the price is slowing down, the moving average will still go up. So the idea is easy. You are observing something similar here, right? We just saw this back in the days when the RSI on a 3-day chart, the macro, gave you a double bottom confirmation. The price actually went up. From there, we were trending to the upside. Now, whether you agree or not, this sure was a trend line. It was going up, 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 up. we did get volatility in between. While the SEC case dropped, the panic, the fear pushed the price below that. But immediately we came back above that and then followed that same trajectory. So by the time we broke that level, now it's like, okay, that trend is invalidated. We are going against that trend. And it did materialize. So right now, while we observe the pattern, we can easily say that the market is showing us something. As soon as we see a break of 0.56, it is going to be key level. But right now, say the price is going to come here towards 0.51, 0.53, come back down to retest the moving average and then bounce off. Now, if it actually bounces off at the initial try, just saying this was just an ABC pattern, I'm forming in a new leg where I'm showing you a different price structure, highlighting the fact that I'm doing a short-term wave structure. So for that, what we are right now doing is moving into a short-term price action category and looking at what the market is showing us. While we understand that we are breaking higher, this is still a short-term chart. We need a candle close there. Now, yes, as you move on to the daily chart, you'll see that the daily just closed, and that daily close gives you the idea that the last daily close here had more volume, but the price didn't move much to the upside, right? It was relatively smaller. Like we had similar selling volume and we had heavy volatility to the downside. So the buyers were weak on that particular day here on 26th. Then on 27th, which is yesterday, we got similar amount of buying volume, but the buyers were not that strong. Now, watch this. On 28th, we just saw the fact that the volume was lower than that and still it's in buying volume and the buyers were stronger than the sellers. Now the 29th has started in the candlestick pattern. Here in the North America, you're still in 28. But the idea is clear. You get the market direction easily. Now, while we actually go into a chart from the Binance, a lot of different exchanges, you get to see the price volatility. You are right now observing the fact that, okay, we are getting a lot of movement here. Market participants are trying to push to the upside, to the downside. We are kind of having this wave structure. But always understand the macro narrative is important. Right now, we get Congress, the politicians, all of them trying to make something in the next couple of months, trying to come up with something, and they do understand this. They were looking at the top 15 digital assets, and they're like, only one of them is screwed by SEC. That looks, weird. So it is not like the XRP holders like us are looking at this and saying like, this is not fair. Right now, you get the same thought process being shared among the politicians in the Congress. The idea is actually working out in the General Council. So this is going to get attention and the market is strong. The XRP ledger growth is strong. The utility part is accelerating. So as soon as you get some clarity, this is going to take off. But in the meantime, what we are observing, I think is most likely the market preparing for a positive news, whether it's in June, whether it's in October, whether it's in December, the market do not know, but the way or the direction that's going does look positive. So if you are in that market and you're arguing that, okay, I'm observing that the market is slowly going up, which is a bullish stuff to watch, because in different exchanges, you get different narratives and you're looking for what is the possibility. And here you are, the market gives you an idea, I'm going higher. How high can you go? Same level, 0.5, 0.52 is the critical level we are watching. And the only negative thing for that range will be on a 3-day chart, in my opinion. Like while I look at the 3-day chart, I would say like, okay, we just had a massive candle to the downside. So if we go back up and slow down here, that would kick the price down again. So that would mean like, yes, the price slowly pushes up, but here that gets rejected and it come back down. And that's where you want to see a reversal and move up. Now that would definitely look like the market is showing us something. We are acting on that. So it would be a double bottom structure. That's what we really want to observe in the market, because now if we get a confirmation there, the market is giving us a clear idea that the trend is valid and trend is your friend, because that three-wave nanostructure is part of this three-wave microstructure. So you are going to get opportunity in this market for sure. Make sure you understand each of these assets, because like this, we are right now going through almost all assets as possible, so that you guys actually get to see a lot of opportunities, a lot of outlooks. So you understand all of these assets are there and you're observing a lot of opportunities. You're getting these targets, right? So once you understand the fact that, okay, this is working out, now you have an easy decision to make. Whether you are going to jump in at the bottom, or you're going to jump in after the confirmation, or you're going to be a lagger in the market. Because once you get the idea, like, okay, this is going to happen, if you want to participate, you can. If you don't want, you don't have to, right? That's a short-term move. And if you're a macro guy who's just analyzing the news narrative as it happens and you want an edge, then yeah, definitely you can look for the link in the description. We share all of these charts for a lot of these assets in this market in Patreon. If you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.